Self-discipline is, and forever will be, the highest form of self-love. The ability to choose what matters over what is easy. To do what needs to be done now, in this moment, over what you want to do, over what would be fun and enjoyable. To make the right choices at the right time, regardless of your feelings. This is the highest form of self-love. That you choose, discipline over instant gratification, over quick fixes, over satisfaction, over any of these things, because you know it is what's required. It is what needs to be done to deliver you the results that you want. That we choose long-term over short-term. That we choose future you over present you. Oftentimes when I think about these ones, it's the concept of who am I serving? Because you have to serve a master. You have to serve someone. And that someone is you. It just depends on when. So are you serving present you? Are you serving your instant needs, your whims, your desires, what feels good in the moment? Like a child in a candy store. Are you just giving in to every primal desire, every cardinal sin, everything that just flows to you? Oh, that feels nice. Oh, that feels nice. Oh, that feels nice. Or are you going, how do I want my life to look? Where do I want to end up? What do I want my life to look like in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years? Where do I want it to be? And in that moment, you make a decision on what matters most to you. You know, that quick dopamine fix, that momentary joy, or building a life that you are proud of, that you're happy with, that you're satisfied with, that brings you joy every single day. As we spoke the other day, that everybody thinks that life is, sipping mojitos on the beach, kicking back on holiday, or the big, massive wins in life. When in reality, at a stretch, that might be 10% of your life. 90% is the day-to-day. 90% is those day-to-day things. But people often conflate the idea that, if you're choosing the future, that they won't come to the everyday things. But I can guarantee you it's actually the disciplined choices, the hard choices, that will make the day-to-day the best thing. And let's just take fitness, for example. Let's go to the simplest and most basic version of discipline, but the one that radiates out into everything. Those who are fit and healthy have better lives. I don't think we can debate that. I don't think that is a questionable statement. That those who are in great shape, and great shape can vary. When I say great shape, I don't necessarily mean shredded to the nines, six-pack, built like nobody's business, a Greek god of a man. Great shape could just be not fat. Great shape could be the ability to play with your children, to, if your mates want to have a pickup game of basketball, if you want to take up a new sport, if you want to go climb a mountain, run a marathon, whatever the fuck it might be, that you don't have to go, I can't do that because I am physically incapable of it. You can go, sure, that sounds great. Maybe some of those will require a bit of training and practice, but it's not an unfathomable thing. It's just like, yeah, I can do that. It's down to things like how your body feels, how you wake up in the morning, how you show up. If you have children, it's the ability to play with them at any moment. It's the ability to catch them and pick them up and carry them and do the things that they want to do, to participate in their life. It's the absence of disease and illness. Now, there is zero guarantees that you will avoid long-term getting disease, injuries, those kinds of things. But you are drastically fucking improving your chances by doing the right things. And I keep coming back to this conversation because I have to keep having it with certain people. And it's, you need to wake the fuck up and stop pretending that you're a child and throwing a tantrum about not getting the things that you want. You need to make an adult decision about the choices that you're making. Because I keep getting this conversation of like, I'm sick of depriving myself. Well, for as long as you view it as depriving yourself, you have not found the self-love. You have not found the key to discipline. You have not found that mind shift that is going to allow you to shift into the things you want to do. Because you're being a fucking child. And to be honest, probably even a toddler. Like, you are throwing a tantrum because I want it. I want it my way. Cool fucking story, buttercup. It's time to harden the fuck up and make choices for your future. And it keeps coming back to this one that people are like, oh, but I'm sacrificing and giving up so much. Yeah, to gain so much. You're investing. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to cut off a limb and I'll never have it back and I'm never going to experience joy again. No, you are trading cheap, pathetic joys for long-term satisfaction, for building a great fucking life. I'm not asking you to sacrifice for the sake of sacrificing. I'm not asking you to give up your life for something. I am asking you to choose better, to give up the short term for the long term, to give up these cheap dopamine hits for a great fucking life. And I come back to it all the time. If you're a father for those kids, to be there for your children, to be able to do those things. And then to be there for your grandkids and your great-grandkids, to make the choices to have things of value and meaning. That glass of wine on the couch, or that, having the cheeky beers, or whatever the fuck is your guilty pleasure when it comes to that, I can guarantee you is not as valuable and is not as enjoyable as a life well lived. The satisfaction of everything that comes with choosing discipline. And that's what I mean when I say it's the highest form of self-love, because it's really easy. It's really fucking easy to choose instant gratification. It's really easy to be like, I'm gonna have the junk food, I'm gonna have the alcohol, I'm gonna watch TV, I'm gonna doom scroll, I'm gonna do all these kinds of things. That's fucking easy. Anyone can do it. Shit, everybody does do it. Just look at the population we're in. Look at how low the fucking bar is at the moment. But it takes true self-respect. It takes true self-love. It takes true self-care to be like, I am not going to give in to my instant desires. I am going to choose to do the hard stuff so that my life will be better. That's where we need to get to. That it isn't easy. It isn't sunshine and rainbows, but fuck me, is it worth it? Things of value, things that are worth doing are very rarely easy, but they are worthwhile. And when you can build that discipline and you can build to that moment that it feels fucking good and you enjoy that discipline, you enjoy being that, that's when things change. That's when you start separating yourself. And that's when everything in your life starts to get better. And in turn, you can start impacting other people's lives just by your existence, just by what you do, by the choices that you make. You will impact those around you. I made a video a while back, and I stand by it, that your discipline should make other people uncomfortable. Your discipline should hold up a mirror to them and make them feel fucking uncomfortable about the choices that they're making. If you've reached that point, that's good. You are now making people reconsider what they value in life. Because I've said it a million times and I'll continue to say it. Your life is a direct reflection of your choices. Direct reflection of your discipline and the actions that you take. And your actions will highlight how much you care about yourself, how high your self-love is, how high your self-discipline is. So if you aren't fucking happy with your life, it's time to change it. It's time to change the habits, the actions, and the thoughts that you are having. because everything gets better when you get into self-discipline, and especially then the action that flows from it. More often than not, anxiety or depression, or, you know, not true level, but like the ones that most people think that they have, not the chemical imbalance in their brain, come from their lack of action, comes from their lack of discipline. And I will put this out there, and I will be honest, because I always want to be transparent with this, that it doesn't matter how good your discipline is, you can still fall into that fucking trap. Because it happened to me. But the catch is that you need to be aware of it, and then you fucking fix it. You don't just stay stuck in that you don't just stay stuck in this moment of, oh my God, I'm so anxious, I'm so depressed, oh, fucking life, No, just fucking get out and do something. Actually get into the process and start taking action. And you'll find that things get better. The anxiety especially comes from fears about the future because you're not doing anything. Once you start taking action and you feel yourself in control, that you are progressing towards everything that you want, guarantee you that anxiety will start to ebb away. And depression is living in the past. It is rehashing things that are out of your control. Remember, there are only 3 things you can control: your thoughts, your habits, your actions. So get into action, get into movement, and you'll find that a lot of those issues start to ebb away. They start to just resolve themselves because you are doing something about it. As I said, it's not a cure-all. It doesn't mean that you'll never have those feelings again, but it means you can snap yourself out of it much faster. And I was having that. I got into a point, I was like, fuck, I'm stressed to the nines, and I'm freaking the fuck out. And the reason was I wasn't taking action on the things I knew I needed to do. So, therefore, I was getting anxious because I didn't know the outcome of what was happening. I wasn't focusing on what I can control. I was just focusing on this quote-unquote impending doom, which in reality isn't a fucking impending doom. It's a result of me not doing the work. It's a result of me not stepping into action. Once I started doing things, once I started taking the actions that I fucking knew, this is always the one, and as I said, this is me as well, but this is the one that always boggles my mind on it. We fucking know the answer. We know the actions that are required. So just take it. Just snap yourself out of it. Stop letting the stories in your head get away from you. Have some self-discipline, have some self-love, have some self-respect. Take the first fucking step, and you'll find that things get better. And I used the one I've spoken about before. I used the 5-minute rule, and it was like that. Oh, I sat down. Oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Oh, the story that I'd been telling myself was a fucking story. It was all bullshit. It was all conflated in my head. It wasn't truth. And once I started, it started to flow. Oh, this is pretty easy. Oh, this is making me feel better. Oh, I've done something. Oh, that anxiety has ebbed away. And that's what's required. You just fucking start. You show the self-discipline to force yourself to start. Whether that be exercise, whether that be nutrition, whether that be work, whether that be, mental toughness, whatever the area that you need to work on. Just force yourself to start. The start is always the hardest part. It's the part that we struggle with. Always makes me laugh. I was terrible at fucking science. Actually, to be honest, I was terrible at school in general. But the one I always remember is Newton's third law, that things in motion stay in motion. And the counter is true as well. Things that aren't in motion require the most force to begin the motion. But once you start moving, once things start rolling, once you get into the phase, lo and behold, things get easier. You build that momentum. It's why I talk about momentum. It's why there are no fucking days off in Chasing Greatness or in 126 to Greatness or in the Greatness Club. There is no fucking days off. There is just the work, because we are stacking the momentum. We are using self-discipline. We are using self-love. We are using self-respect. We are using momentum. And it's easier if you don't fucking stop. Yeah, maybe it does require more willpower and mental toughness to stop, start. But I want to build mental toughness and store it up and not have to use it on things that should become momentum building. I want to save my willpower. I want to save my mental toughness for the battles that are actually going to be difficult and need to be difficult. I want to save it for them. I want things like my exercise and my nutrition and those kinds of things to just be fucking ingrained. I want my health and fitness to be sorted, period, end of story, that I don't have to think about it. And that's where I've gotten to by doing it every single fucking day. I don't have to think about it. I just know for a fact, when I wake up every day that I am going for a weighted walk, I am going to lift weights, I am going to drink 4 liters of water, I am going to eat an animal-based diet, and I'm going to take a daily photo. There is no thought process. There is no questioning. I don't have to utilize willpower to get that shit done. The only question becomes when. That is it. And the only reason it's when is because my schedule is a bit all over the place. Ideally, I'd like to just have it blocked out. That it is this time, every fucking day. Done. Done and dusted. And that's the point you need to get to. And when you get to that point, things get simpler. And that's why we have to build it this way. And that's where self-discipline comes in. Because you build this up. You build, what's it? The self-love, the self-discipline, the self-respect. You build momentum in it. And then you can go, well, that's established in this area. And you only have to use the smallest amount of self-discipline in that. And then you can apply it to the next area and apply it to the next area. Because, yeah, you'll strengthen the muscle, but you still have to create the discipline. You have to create the fortitude. You have to create that process of building the self-discipline into other areas, to ingrain it into you, to just, that is who you are, unquestionably. And that's the level we want to get to. That we want to be defined by our discipline. We want to be known as the disciplined man. That we are a man of our word. That if we said it's getting done, it's getting done. End of fucking story. That's who we want to be. And that's where this is building. That is what chasing greatness daily is about. To put you into that level. To put you into the 1%. And I said this, I was having a discussion with a mate the other day about this, and I was like, it makes me actually fucking sad at how low the bar is. It's exciting in one area because it's like the limited amount of work, like how small the amount of work that is required to literally put you into the 1%. It's so tiny that it's scary, but it makes me sad for the world that this is the state of affairs. But it's also exciting. It's exciting for me. It's exciting for you that with minimal fucking effort, you can put yourself into the 1%. With great fucking effort, you can be someone who stands out, who greatly separates themselves from the pack. And it excites me for my children because part of this, and an incredibly large part of this, is leading by example for my children. I want them to have learnt self-discipline, not from my words, but from my actions, that this is just ingrained into them. That they don't have to go through this self-discovery to work it out. That's just how they perceive the world, that's what's normal. But I look at that and go, my kids are strong-willed. My kids are resilient. They're going to have self-discipline. I'm going to keep passing them on to this. They're going to rule the fucking world. I look at my daughter especially, and she already runs the playground. The kid's 4. It excites me that she can have the world at her feet purely because I made a decision to be the best version I can be, to instill discipline in myself. It doesn't make the choices on the daily basis easier, but it makes the reward greater. That this is the greatest gift that I can pass on to my children, is that self-love, being self-discipline, that they can choose their future selves over that instant gratification, that I can help them avoid all the pitfalls that I have had to overcome along the way, because there are still battles. There are still fucking battles every day to overcome that side of it, that I still have to implement self-discipline, and that I can just impart that onto them by being the example. I feel like that's the greatest reward that I could ever hope to have, is to be able to set my children up to live the life that they deserve purely by making the right choices for my life. So that's all I have for you right now. So if you are ready to start building self-discipline, to choose self-love, true fucking self-love, to build self-respect and build that discipline muscle to become the greatest version of yourself, shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's start that process. Let's build it out bit by bit. We start at the physical and then we progress from there. And you will be shocked that who you can be in 6 weeks. Not just on the discipline level, but on the physical level. You could be like Greg, who's down 15 kilos in 3.5 weeks. Or Ray, who lost 3.5 kilos in the first 3 days. Transform the physical as well as the mental. Now, if that doesn't appeal to you, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if this spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, if you know someone else who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, subscribe. The majority of people who are on here and watching these videos are not subscribed, and I am here every single day. Like everything I do with Chasing Greatness, I do not miss a fucking day. So I'm here every single day, sharing from my experiences, sharing from the front, sharing from my mistakes, and helping you avoid those pitfalls. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.